Now, since President Trump took office in January, it feels like a new agency has been on the chopping block every week. Where do you think we'll be 1 month from now as DOGE continues to look at every area of spending across the government?
Well, I don't know where we'll be. I mean, what they're trying to do is harmful, though. They're trying to take away funding from kids in working class neighborhoods for their schools, trying to take away funding for families with someone who has special needs and the education that they need, taking away funding for people who may need loans to go to college or higher education. And I think the courts will be blocking this. Congress needs to stand up and block it with the debt ceiling debate and make sure that we don't give votes until they agree to spend everything that was appropriated and authorized by Congress.
As you're talking about some of the constituents that could be touched by these cuts and some of the policies you've mentioned, there are some broadly bipartisan policies that you have laid out. So have you talked to your colleagues who are kind of in the more purple districts, perhaps Republicans in purple districts, who want to protect their constituents but also feel loyalty to their party in this moment?
I have. I often say it just takes 3 Republicans for us to stand up for the Constitution, and I hope some of them will, because they should be wanting to assert Congress's Article 1 constitutional right. I was thinking of sending everyone Federalist 51, where Madison thought that people in Congress would never succumb to the executive branch, that we'd have too much pride in Congress's priorities. Why would we allow the executive branch to just eliminate agencies that Congress has created, and those agencies are helping actual people in communities, working class neighborhoods?
What do you expect the resistance to these DOGE cuts to look like in a month? I know we can't predict exactly what will come, but based on the conversations you're having with colleagues, will we see a more cohesive pushback?
I believe the courts are going to be very effective in pushing back, but I believe the Democrats in the Congress are going to be effective. I think we're going to say, we're not going to increase the debt ceiling. We're not going to just fund Donald Trump's government, and they're going to need Democratic votes for both without a commitment that the president spend every dollar that Congress appropriates. I mean, basically, we're saying for us to cooperate, you need to be constitutional.
You mentioned the courts. Could we get into a situation where there's just political football back and forth over some of these agencies and issues?
We could have a case where all these things go to the Supreme Court, but I believe that the Supreme Court is going to rule that this is Congress's power. And then if they defy the Supreme Court, we really have a constitutional crisis in this country. But I expect that we will have at least 3 Republicans stand up for the rule of law and stand up for what a conservative Supreme Court will find.